Welcome to the Sound and the Healing podcast, where life is experienced, sound is celebrated, and healing is inevitable. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, listeners. Welcome back to our podcast, The Sound and the Healing. We're so happy to be here, and we're happy to have you join us. Ro and I were talking a little bit before we started this recording on what we perhaps wanted to dive into on this episode. And I shared with Ro that I've really been swimming in it, kind of unpacking my own pacing and rhythm. I'm in a point in my life where I do not have anyone but myself in my home. It is simply me. And though I have,
Wait. Are you sure about that? That it's simply
well,
you?
Alfie
Okay.
as well, my little kitty, my Tonkinese cat. Thank you. He needs to be represented, absolutely. But no other humans, shall I say, that I have to have on my radar or attend to in any particular way. And so I have the privilege and the time and the space to really allow myself to feel my authentic rhythm, my authentic pacing from day to day, from moment to moment. And so I've been very aware of what feels organic to me and what then arises, that the shoulds and the you have tos and the habits of what were very ingrained. And some of it's been surprising, some not so, but it's been a very interesting experience for me.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I love the words that you use, the pacing and the rhythm, because you can get confused between the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can go right back to the breath. The pacing of the breath is not the same as the rhythm of the breath. So I'm really curious about if you would give an example, Claire.
All right, so I typically wake up in the morning, and the first thing that I feel pulled to do and invited to do is to spend time in my garden. And so I typically weed, I'll prune, I'll sit and enjoy and kind of alternate. And then once that feels complete, and I can usually tell I either get too hot or my body's needs to get out from the outside, so I'll go in. And then this is really interesting. I'll take a moment, get some refreshment, and then I'll ask my body, I'll ask myself, give it some space, some time, and I'll ask it what it wants to do. Because there's usually about 3 or 4 things I'd like to do in a day or so. So, for example, today I gave myself the option of playing the cello for a little bit, or going back outside and sitting on my Chase lounge and reading. And the habitual, the part of myself that wants is programmed to be the good, achieving, studious, striving for perfection and pleasing others little girl felt like she should practice the cello. And the part of myself that's just really attending to the energy and how my body's feeling, wanted to sit outside and relax and read. So I let myself do that. And it's really interesting because, and I don't know if this is a musician thing or if it's a human thing that others deal with too, if it's just a simply habitual programming thing. But I spent probably the first 40 years of my life constantly having a loop in my voice saying, you should be practicing. Are you not practicing? Why are you not practicing? You need to practice. So that was pretty constant. That was pretty constant. And I have the wonderful delight of learning a new musical instrument as an adult, where I don't have to approach my study, my practice in that way at this point in time. So I've been purposely and intentionally approaching my cello with, I want to practice when I am in the space of wanting to commune with my instrument. When I'm in that spot of wanting to feel that vibration, when I'm in that spot of wanting to breathe with the sound, rather than I need to do this or I should do this. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's what came through.
Yeah. Well, it's thank you, love. Thank you for luxuriating us in an example. So much came through as for me listening, as I'm sure it did for others who are listening to us, that um, this 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 kind of linearity, right? And the loop and the loop and the loop is trying to push you in a direction of linearity, right? It's cause and effect. And if I had to get a geekoid about this, right? It's a Newtonian model that has deeply shaped our lives. And, to some extent, it's real. Apples do fall from the tree. They don't fall up, they fall down because of gravity. So there is there is a grace in linearity, and which move there is a movement along time, right? That helps us to go from point A to point B. But then what happens if there is rest and presence and waiting for something to unfold that is unpredictable, right? And again, the geek in me is looking at more the nonlinear aspects of the universe, the the theories of relativity, the theories of uncertainty, the theories about the string theory, right? All of the quantum, of which, yes, I am a chemistry major, agreed, and did that for graduate school as well. and I'm not an expert in it, and I could be easily misspeaking. I'm not a theoretical physicist, not a theoretical mathematician or a chemist anymore. I'm a lowly doctor, but and in this moment, not anything really. That somehow that education is just flowing through me, and here I am in this space, but really deeply appreciating, well, what happens when we play the note of rest and allowing an unfolding. What happens?
Well, and I love that you're asking that question because as I'm allowing this space and time and really checking in with what I really want to do rather than shooting myself, I'm aware of those old programs. Man, was I a bully to myself. I
Mm-hmm.
made myself do this, I made myself do that, I pushed through this, I pushed through that. And, you know, there's something to be said for, anybody who does a particular action in a constant sense of tension or forcing yourself to do something, it shows up as tension in your body, right? And so, is it any surprise we see, when I was in conservatory, there were many students who had injuries, many students who were in pain as they played. And, at this vantage point, there's no surprise, you know, but it's what you did. It was the paradigm at the time. And it was also wrapped up so much in achieving, proving myself, making myself indispensable. Lots of layers in that.
Right.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Fascinating. I mean, a single apple falling off the tree to the ground, to your space, to your spot. Whereas when we look at it from a larger perspective of presence and what I'm bringing in, this kind of quantum theoretical understanding of the universe, we find that one of the main things that we learn is that the universe is created in relationship. And is there a relationship with self possible when we are acting in an automatic flow with inner impulses that are conditioned and learned? And if I could say, a conditioning of colonization, right, versus a conditioning of
Mm,
freedom,
yes,
right? We
yes.
had both. I had, you know, this interesting thought and feeling that came up as you were sharing your example. And that was an exercise, and please forgive me if it doesn't sound connected. It somehow in my heart, it feels really connected. And Claire, I know you'll help me make sense of why it's connected, but I was thinking about all the ways in which, let's say, our mom or important family members called our name, all the different tones to come back to the pacing, to come back to the rhythm, and how that entered our body. I mean, if I think of my name is, in the West, people pronounce it as Rohini, but in India, it's pronounced Rohini, you know, and there were, wait, Rohini. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
damn. Even me doing that,
I was going to say, how does your body feel when you hear that name, like your name like that?
right? That
Yeah,
panic. It's a panic,
yeah.
dread and panic and doom. Right. And this is often what I felt studying for my exams. um, and looking at tasks, that sense of dread came through so many times. But then there was also, from the conditioning of freedom, the absolute opposite. Rohilai, Rohilai. And as soon as I hear that, just I become a little flower.
And such a sense of play that I feel from that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there was, this whole variation in between. I don't want to take over the space, but I would love, because every time we do a podcast, I really want listeners to come away with an exercise that they can play with. I mean, the last one we were playing with yes and no with presence, right? Play your name, the resonance of your name spoken by important people in your early life in a variety of ways, and how that translates into the capacity to allow the moment to unfold instead of the pacing that is already set by some history. A very linear, programmed, conditioned trajectory that is not in the frequency of invention, and if I should say, a co-invention and a co-creation with the universe.
Yeah. Yeah. And doesn't honor who we're becoming in every given moment, right? I had a dear um teacher, friend, colleague who used to say, you really should introduce yourself to your friends and family every time you see them because truly you're a different person if you're open to shifting, if you're aware of what is having its way with you and you're not closed down,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, really, we don't have to say our name every time because that might make us feel like maybe we're in an AA meeting, but maybe,
And who wants that, right?
well, it's okay. I've been to some of those, and just really learning about telling the truth about ourselves,
Hmm.
accompanying partners and part of part of my education. But maybe the presence of hello every time is said in a completely unique way. We're not trying to be clever with sound, but we're allowing something to emerge.
The essence of who we're becoming to be shared and presented. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Again, again with the presence, right?
Yeah. Very, very, very cool. Hmm.
It's interesting, Ro, when you were talking about the different ways of receiving your name spoken to you and the different states that you'd be in. It and I loved the exercise that you shared, or the invitation, I should say, that you shared with us regarding that. If you're open to it, I might go down a slightly different path that's a little related using the name.
Well, what are we doing
What do you
here,
think,
Claire? Except
listener?
play.
Are you guys open for a couple of different invitations?
I sure am. Because, Claire, every single one of these podcasts, I wonder, am I doing this for someone else or am I really doing this for myself? For getting me some Claire time.
So there's a sound healer by the name of Vicky Dodd.
Hmm.
She's an elder in the field who has written a few different books. I've stumbled upon her in different podcasts and just such an authentic presence. And she does a lot of humming work. She does a lot of work with you're working with the body, but you're opening a connection with the body through sound. These sounds don't have to be pretty, they don't have to be any particular syllable. You're just tuning into your body and allowing, maybe you're having some problems with your right shoulder. So you tune into your right shoulder and you give it time and space and voice to sound. One of her signature exercises, actually, to start this process and this time with the body in this way, is called the signature hum. And what you do is you take your name and you
Mm.
don't approach it as introducing yourself externally. You take your name and say it as though you're introducing it to your body.
Oh, wow.
And what sounds does your name make? And it doesn't have to be literal. There may be certain syllables that get spread out. Where are you feeling them in the body? Where does it hit you? And I just find it to be fascinating. So I'm going to do it right now. And geek alert, weirdo alert, it's going to sound probably pretty weird. But,
Hmm.
if I'm not willing to walk the walk, I can't invite you all to, right? So,
Yeah. Well, you may have been sounding sane all along, Claire, but I think I outed myself as a weirdo probably right off the bat. So yeah, welcome. I don't want to be alone in this anymore.
so I'm going to go ahead and model this for you. And again, there are no rights or wrongs. You are just simply allowing yourself to dialogue with your body, noticing what's going on, and introducing yourself to you in a sound way. So here we go. Claire. And you can go on and on with this. You can do it once, whatever. And you may have a learning curve with this too. It may take a little bit of a while to acclimate to this kind of thing, but I find it revolutionary in working with my body and working with sound.
Yeah, do it in your shower,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a you time. You're really naked with yourself, so to
In so
speak,
many ways.
and in so many ways, right? And Claire, as I was watching you, it was remarkable because I could feel the universe moving, right? Galaxies spiraling, as you said your name. And I don't know if there was anything visual that came through. And then at the end, when you were whispering your name in that powerful way, I mean, people can't see you in the way that I can, but you were. beaming, you were emanating light. I mean, you were literally beaming, you were smiling and glowing.
Well, there's something to be said. And again, there are layers on this, right? To our capacity, we enter in on this invitation. You may find as you do this that certain things come to the surface. Everyone's going to have a different experience with it. At this point in time in my evolution, in my becoming, my body reacts to the sound of my own voice so immediately and instinctively. And I would say, unless you've got some blocks up, everybody loves their body intrinsically is yearning for that sound of their own voice. And especially in this kind of intimate way where you are giving your body voice, inviting your body to participate, it can be a very, very powerful practice.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's just amazing.
And look up Vicky Dodd, guys, if you at all feel, resonant with this or curious as I say her name. I can't say enough about her and the depth and power of her work.
Thank you, Vicky Dodd.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it's, as you know, any of these invitations for exercises, um, it's so important to make it your own. That there's a sort of a linear way in which it's presented, but that co-inventive way, that non-linear relational way is revelation and discovery, and that the how is more important than the what.
Yes,
And you can't do this wrong.
exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a highly, highly visual person and also love, love, love sound. I also really love smell and taste and touch and movement. Okay, and those, the senses do interact with each other. So I love all my senses, but when I was sounding my own name, Claire, well, as you were describing it, I moved in and I could feel this this spiraling light inside me. So I could even see it, right?
Hmm.
I could see the sound. Um, which, it's many of us can and do. It's so connected, so connected.
So, just another reminder of the worlds, the just layers that are present in all of us.
Mhm.
Just beautifully awaiting our attention and respect.
Yeah,
And speaking of attention and respect, thank you, Rohini, for co hosting another amazing episode of The Sound and the Healing with me. And again, thank you, listeners, for coming on this journey with us. We really appreciate you.
really do. This is a journey of authenticity. We're not messing around.
Uh-uh.
Mm.
So we'll see you next time, listeners. And until then, Have a wonderful day.
And please, and please take the presence of our love.
Absolutely. Bye now. Thanks so very much for listening to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed yourself and will share the sound and the healing with your friends. Please go to our website with any questions or comments you may have, as we plan on using your questions in upcoming episodes. Our website and socials are included at the bottom of our episode descriptions, so please join us to continue the discussion. Until next time, keep on sounding and healing.